RTD is time to English New Edition. For tonight headlines, we have examination and the urgent procedures of the law on the commercial code at the National Assembly. For the international scene, daily days tolls at its lowest for Italy and France. Welcome to our newsroom. It was with sadness and dismay that we learned the death of Ali Gheli Abu Bakr, Minister to the Presidency in charge of international investment. Tonight at the Sudanese hospital in the capital, Ali Gheli Abu Bakr was Djibouti's legal political thinker. He was the instigator of agreement signed between the government and the army for 1992. Ali Gheli Abu Bakr was a charismatic element with a strong influence. The entire republic has just lost one of those worthy sons who served the flag through their lives. We will come back in the next editions on the journeys of this great Djiboutian politician. May the Almighty have mercy on his soul. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Under the chairmanship of His Excellency Muhammad Ali Mohammed, the third public sitting of the first ordinary sessions for the year 2020 of the National Assembly was held this Monday, April 27, in the Hemicycle of Parliament. This session is which saw the participation of Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed. Ministers and parliamentarians had as its first agenda the examinations and the emergency procedures of law, amending and supplementing the commercial code after the introductory remarks of the President of the Assembly, and at the end of the audience exchanges, Hemicycle declared itself in favor of the adoptions of this text. Finally, the Hemicycle witnessed standing ovations from the both parliamentarian and member of steering committee with the self-sacrifices and sense of duty shown by the medical staff and security forces who are on the front line of the fight against the virus. President Muhammad Ali Mohammed, in closing this third sitting, spoke on the behalf of these elected colleagues of the nation, noting the satisfactions of the national representation, both for responsiveness of government strategy to combat the COVID-19 virus and the diligence implemented by the executive to respond to the institutional legitimacy of question sessions to the government. As for the ministers, the legislative agenda was followed in the second stage by an exercise to monitor government actions during this debate. Various speakers from the parliamentarian branches questioned the member of steering committee for fight against COVID-19, both on the actions carried out on the ground and on the institutional and normative response adopted by the government in the framework. Deputies were questioned. The Prime Minister Abdul Qadir Kamil Mohammed and ministers given a very wide ranges of information, such as logistics and the methods of distribution of food aid to vulnerable households, containment contribution and solidarity, the economic impact of COVID-19 on the inter-urban transport sectors and between the capital and the regions, the modality of baccalaureate examination, establishment of adjustments and to initial finance were reviewed. The Secretary General of the Ministry of Health, Dr. Saleh Banuta Turab, has made a press briefing concerning the data of COVID-19 in Djibouti. This Monday, 27 April 22, we have 509 tests performed, 12 cases positive to COVID-19, 66 cases cured after more than a month of epidemic. Balance is as follows: 12,250 tests were performed, 1,035 positive cases, 477 are confirmed cure. We deplore 2 deaths. The situation of today is in line with the stabilization of the number of positive cases. This shows once again that the health care staff is doing a remarkable job which should be congratulated both in terms of the early detection of cases, the search for contact person, remain vigilant and respect all the measures that have been taken. Stay at home. We have a magazine. This is the calmness after the storms of coronavirus epidemic in our country. For almost a month now, the number of people cured of the coronavirus has outpaced the number of new confirmed positive cases. Under the supervision of the CNSS, the hospital has exceptionally authorized our tower teams to go behind the scenes of this war against report. Were able to convince 2 patients in convalescence to testify in front of our camera on the treatment in these centers at the entrance to the compulsory disinfection of vehicles announces the color of a very reinforced protection devices to eliminate all risks and of contagions to the coronavirus. We are at the Alta Regional Hospital, the first site to be converted into the treatment centers for people contaminated by the coronavirus. At the care parks, the general directors of the Alta Regional Hospital on the left of the pictures and the COVID medical care managers specialists in infectious disease, Dr. Miad Ahmed, welcome us and give us a guided and quick reminders on the security measures to be respected during the family wearings. A full body suit in mandatory to access the patient's care area. Armor should be worn this with great care. Dr. Miad said we wear this switch every time we come into the contact with our patient. It allows us to protect ourselves against contamination. Looking like a super astronaut, we cross the pavilion reserved for the hospitalizations of newcomers or those still under treatment under a good escort of medical team. Our objective is to reach the area reserved for patients who has initially tested results have revealed the absence of the virus for 60 days. 6 people under treatment with chloroquine and anti-malaria combined with antibiotic is among the supplements that are cured and are allowed to leave the hospital. Khadar shared his feelings and the care he received during this stay in Arta Hospital with us to his heart content. He said, "I'm happy to finally have my family back. After several tests, I come out negative, and now I'm anxious to be reunited with my families." When he was hospitalized, the medicines, Dr. Miadi said, "Thanks to God, we got to the medicines. We are well, thank God, and would say those who tested positive or have doubts about their health that they do protect their families and come in for treatment before releasing." Dr. Miad gives this last advice to the patients of the Minister of Health announced that 15 new cases, 36 cured of coronavirus. Among the convalescents, 11 were taken care of the hospital of Arta, the first site transformed into the center for the cases of contaminated person. The managing director of the International Investment Bank, Raja Desoy, made a statement today from his agency located at Place Menelik. He made a point of specifying that the bank will double the contribution of generous donors who will deposit their support in the numbers of the account open with us. For the international scene, coronavirus daily death toll at lowest for Italy and France. If the COVID-19 pandemic seems to be running out of steam In Europe, caution remains the order of the day and containment is required as evidenced by the still deserted street in Italy. The most affected countries after the United States, Italy nevertheless recorded its lowest death toll since 24 March on Sundays with 260 deaths in 24 hours. The number of people currently positive for the coronavirus, on the other hand, rose after 6 consecutive days of decline. The most affected regions remains Lombardy, with about half of the deaths recorded in the whole peninsula. Italy is due to the daily early this week the deconfinement measures it planned to take from 4 May. However, schools will remain closed until September. The situation is much the same in France. The death toll in the last 24 hours in the down sharply with 242 new deaths. This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us.